Okay, are you really free under capitalism? From Second Thought.
This episode and others like it are made possible by the generous support of my patrons on Patreon. If you'd like to help me make more content like this, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/secondthought. If you were to ask a handful of Americans what makes their country so special, odds are most of them would respond, our freedom. If you were to press them on the issue and ask why we experience such freedom, their answer would probably be something about the Founding Fathers, our strong military, and capitalism. Now, this video is not about the various global freedom rankings, in which America performs poorly compared to other wealthy nations. You can look those up on your own time. What I want to focus on is the adversary.
He doesn't want to fucking show it because he's a libtard. He wants to hide from the truth. America is the most free. Number one, baby, free to fucking breathe without a mask. Free to fucking breathe with a ventilator when I die in a hospital because I didn't wear a mask. Free to choose what kind of healthcare company's gonna fuck me harder than the other one. That's real freedom, baby. That's real freedom, brother. Free to choose a job between selling insurance to my friends and family or die because I have no other job opportunities after I'm $200,000 in the pocket for going to college.
Relationship
That's real freedom
in our capitalist system and personal freedom. For decades now, the words
Among
capitalism
Us with
and
Moxie,
freedom
yes,
have
I
been
wanna play
treated
with
as synonyms. But over the course of this video, I hope to show you that capitalism doesn't enable freedom at all. In fact, it actively suppresses it. This may sound like a strange claim, but bear with me. I think you'll come around by the end. Before we begin, we need to have a deeper understanding of freedom than simply, I get to do what I want. Let's start with the concepts of positive and negative freedom. Positive freedom is having the capacity to act according to one's free will. I get to do what I want is an expression of positive freedom. Negative freedom, on the other hand, is the freedom from coercion by others. One example of this would be the freedom to speak freely without fearing retribution from the state. These two types of freedom can be summed up as freedom to and freedom from. They often get tangled up and end up in conflict with one another, as in the gun rights example, I have the right to carry a gun in public, versus I have the right to walk around without the threat of
Hasan the pikefish. At least Trump is building a wall to keep Mexicans out. What's Sleepy Joe doing? Always sleeping? Dude, I love how fucking dumb Republicans are. It's awesome. Like, that's so funny, dude. Like, how are you gonna fucking change that guy's mind?
Being shot. There will always be disagreement surrounding the issue of which form of freedom should take precedent. But the point of this video is that capitalism suppresses both forms. Let's take a capitalist economy as an example. Would you say that this kind of economy offers a positive or negative freedom as its value proposition? A positive freedom would be, I am entitled to a guaranteed fair share of the economy. That doesn't fit. What about a negative freedom? I am entitled to operate in the economy without coercion by powerful groups. That's closer, and that's how free market enthusiasts have chosen to describe the freedom afforded by capitalism. Here's the problem. Those people see the government as the only entity capable of exerting control over the economy. Government power is significant, but in today's hyper-capitalist economies, the governments themselves are beholden to the ultra-rich and massive multinational corporations. Capitalism not only fails to guarantee its people a fair share of the economy, positive freedom, it also fails to prevent the meddling of disproportionately powerful entities in the economy, negative freedom. Tax laws are always written to benefit the top 1%, energy policies always benefit massively wealthy fossil fuel companies, despite their effect on the climate. Why? Because the ultra-wealthy have bought both major political parties in the US. This is a direct result of runaway capitalism. The accumulation of obscene levels of wealth in the hands of a tiny fraction of the population has created an owner class with godlike power. Let's take another example. America has a for-profit healthcare system. It's incredibly lucrative, worth a
I don't believe it. Mustard. Yeah, but also, did you know that if you worked hard, you could also become Jeff Billionaire Bezos? Yeah. That's what I thought. Mustard.
Staggering $3.65 trillion as of 2018. In a humane system, average people would be able to afford medical treatment. They could go to the emergency room without the fear of racking up tremendous medical debt. That's not the case in America. Before the pandemic hit, there were over 137 million Americans struggling to pay their medical bills. Again, that was before the pandemic. We've had 6.5 million confirmed cases of COVID since then, and hospital stays are incredibly expensive. The fact that we have so many people having to choose between going bankrupt and risking dying of preventable medical conditions is a damning indictment of our capitalist system. By choosing profits over all else, our hyper-capitalist healthcare industry has limited our freedom to reasonably priced care and our freedom from the fear of bankruptcy for basic health services. You have the freedom to start a business, but the end goal of capitalism is ever-increasing profits, and your business will likely fail as our system refuses to provide a level playing field. Hundreds of thousands of small businesses have been destroyed by the pandemic, but the country's billionaires and wealthiest corporations have seen a dramatic increase in net worth. Why? Because they were taken care of. They were bailed out or able to capitalize on the suffering of others. As of June, the country's wealthiest people had gotten $637 billion richer over the course of the pandemic. Capitalists applaud the fact that anyone can start a business. But how can you compete against these corporate leviathans that monopolize the economy and can demand whatever legislation they want from those in power? There's no freedom there for the average person. Okay, but what about the job market? Free market enthusiasts will say that relationships between workers and employers are free and equal. If you hate your job, you have the freedom to leave and find another one. But if small businesses can't pay you a decent wage because they can't compete, and large companies are all trying to maximize profits by cutting costs and extracting as much labor from their workers for as little money as possible, you're unlikely to find a job that will offer a living wage. To make matters worse, capitalism treats basic necessities like commodities. Healthcare, food, water, shelter. These things can all be exploited to make a profit. The average American is compelled to sell their labor and hours of their life for whatever wage they can find simply to cover the skyrocketing cost of housing. That's not freedom. That's coercion. Take the workplace itself. You are subjected to the whims of the employer, no matter how demeaning or unfair. Constant schedule changes, demands to come in to cover a shift, restriction of freedom of speech. You are completely at the mercy of someone who can fire you for any reason or no reason at all simply because you cannot afford not to work. The vast majority of people don't have the luxury of taking time off to find another job because that would likely mean missing a rent payment. You will be kicked out of your home and starve if you don't engage in the soul-crushing meat grinder that is the American labor market. That's not freedom. I can hear it now. If you don't like it, you can just leave. How? How can the average American disengage with this coercive system? Even if you wanted to, say, live on your own land and produce your own food, thereby removing the power of the coercive capitalist system. In order to escape, you need capital. You need enough money to buy the land, which is already impossible for most people, then the funds to build a home, however small, and acquire supplies to grow food, find a way to collect water, and so on. The problem is, there's no way for the average American to accumulate that kind of money. The vast majority.
That's why yesterday when I was talking about this, I was telling you guys, like, that's why yesterday I was telling you, like, the people that were like leaving their towns, their liberal towns, and like going to live in like a Texas suburb away from, you know, libtards or whatever. Like, those people are wealthy. You can't, like, you are upper middle class. Like, there's no way that you're like fucking starving and then you're like, all right, I'm just gonna fucking move my entire family to Austin, or not Austin, because Austin's libtard is fucked too. It just doesn't work that way.
Majority of capital is concentrated at the very top, and it's only getting worse. In 2019, the richest person on the Forbes Top 400 list was 21 times wealthier than the richest person on the list in 1982, adjusted for inflation. That money isn't just coming out of thin air. It's being siphoned from the rest of the population. That money also is not going back into the economy. It's being hoarded and used to buy legislation favorable to giant corporations. Meanwhile, real wages have gone down, unions have been all but eradicated, preventing collective bargaining for better treatment, and most people can't cover a surprise $400 expense. You don't even have the freedom to disengage from the capitalist system. This system, and by extension your life, is owned by the ultra-wealthy. This is the logical conclusion of capitalism, and decades of consolidation of wealth and power in the hands of an increasingly small number of oligarchs. Capitalism cannot solve these problems because it doesn't recognize them as problems.
It's literally a part of capitalism. That's why whenever people say, oh, that's corporatism, that's not capitalism, real capitalism wouldn't allow this to happen. Wrong. Corporatism is capitalism. You're just trying to deflect away from how the system is working as intended.
The system is designed to allow for maximization of profit and will always yield monopolies and vast inequality. Corporations like Amazon can end careers and the future of entire cities by picking up and moving to a better tax haven. And they will, every time, because it makes them more money. Living your life at the mercy of the owner class doesn't sound like freedom to me. The vision of a free America and opportunity for all doesn't exist. Our lives are becoming less and less free. We have less time to spend with our loved ones.
This is literally what I talked to XQC about yesterday. Like, this video perfectly shows, with additional background information, the exact same conversation that XQC and I had yesterday about how this system works, how the system is designed to produce these results.
Loved ones, less money to put away for the future. Our life expectancy is decreasing. We can't get medical treatment because it will bankrupt us. We can't start a business because it will be crushed by the major players or left to die when the next pandemic comes along. And the government will always side with the ultra-wealthy instead of the average American because both parties are entirely bought and paid for. At this point in history, there is nothing capitalism can offer us that a more humane system could not. It's just a matter of realizing that we've been conditioned by decades of propaganda to see capitalism as a synonym for freedom. Capitalism does not provide freedom. It suppresses it. Okay, so what's the solution? That depends on who you ask. Some people think we can reform the system at the ballot box. Others think electoral politics is a dead end. The means may not be clear, but the end goal is: we need to replace capitalism with a system that values human life over profits. One that actually does expand our freedoms and provides every person with a life of dignity. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I think socialism is the answer. Look at the things we have today that are a direct result of socialist policy. Child labor laws, the weekend, the 40-hour work week, Medicare, Social Security.
Oh, you lost me, brother. I don't know about that. I think it was because they voted in. I think that the same politicians who we constantly... Sorry, I'm going to change my voice for that. This is neoliberal. Neoliberal voice is necessary for this one. Actually, you're wrong. Oh, God, lefties are so dumb fuck. They're so fucking stupid. I hate how stupid lefties are. It's actually a consequence of voting in these politicians that are going to enact their agenda. God, lefties are so fucking stupid. Right? That's how it happened, right? I say this while simultaneously saying that, of course, we can't even advocate as politicians for a fucking Medicare for all because people would not vote for that. You dumb fuck. Do you not understand how the world works? God, leftists are so fucking stupid. They're so brain dead. I say as I simultaneously say that, of course, politicians are going to advocate for marginalist, incrementalist positions because it's unfeasible for them in the electoral process to actually advocate for true leadership and actual values and simultaneously act like it's not workers organizing and doing socialism that made these changes happen. Force the hands of those leaders. Fuck. Dumb fuck. You're so stupid. You don't understand how the world works. I'm an adult.
Workplace safety laws, the 8-hour workday, and many others. Look at this list. Does anything stand out to you? Besides being staples of modern life, each of these policies defies the capitalist goal of profit over all else. Children were great workers because they were small enough to crawl inside giant factory machines and you could pay them less. We're used to an 8-hour workday today, but in the past, people would work 12 hours or more in a shift. Making workplaces safer was...
Reforms aren't socialism. Oh, okay. You are actually, unironically, a fucking idiotic orthodox Marxist who's like, reforms aren't socialism. It doesn't matter, jackass. It's advocated for and fought for by socialists, trade unionists, fucking people on the left, on the broader left. Get your stupid fucking Parenti books out of your ass and actually join the fucking real world for a brief moment, okay?
Was expensive, and business owners didn't want to do that. Without socialists and other leftists fighting to keep capitalism from going completely off the rails, we'd be in an even worse place than we are today. Human life is infinitely more valuable than corporate profits. Many Americans are finally beginning to see that the system doesn't work for them, that it's built on the exploitation of their labor, that they will never reap the benefits of their own hard work. By its very definition, capitalism demands a weakening of democratic systems and the suppression of the vast majority of people. Capitalism is not freedom. Capitalism is the enemy of freedom, and it needs to go. We can choose to replace it with a system that strengthens democracy and expands individual freedom, where we're not held hostage by obscene housing, education, and healthcare costs, where the ultra-wealthy no longer have complete control over government. We can say no more to the two-party corporate duopoly and demand representatives who cater not to special interests, but to the average citizen. We can build a system that cares for the survivability of the planet and the future of all people. A system that is truly worthy of being called free. I mentioned at the beginning of this video.
This guy, I hate this guy. I don't like this guy. Marxists joined the arena for every fight for better conditions of the working class. The only difference is they recognize that reforms will be done away with over time under capitalism. Yes. Can I turn on captions for this video? No. I don't like people who can't hear. That's why I purposely fucking don't turn on the captions, dude. When has there ever been an opportunity to fucking have captions on screen and I haven't taken it? Can you please explain that to me? I've literally never, ever, ever. I have to read captions, okay? I have to read captions. You understand? I'm ESL Andy. I grew up only reading captions. I cannot watch when I'm in the comfort of my own home by myself watching the TV. I have captions on. Denmark is a capitalist state and it delivers what this video promises. Denmark, I think, is an appropriate transitional socialist, an appropriate transitional phase, especially for America, in reaching actually a socialist organization of the economy. This is what I advocate for. Same with Scandinavian countries. I don't care what leftists say. I don't give a fuck. I think that ultimately a social democracy is the first step, especially in America, a true social democracy with robust social safety nets and a nationalized industry for extraction, for example, and hopefully other industries as well, is a perfectly appropriate and good goal for the next fucking 10 years. Okay? But it doesn't end there. People who fucking attack that mentality are living in, I don't know where the fuck they're living, but they're not living in America, I don't think. Even in that transitional phase, that's the best way to potentially build a fucking vanguard party if you want to do that, okay? If you want to do that, if you want to build a vanguard party, here's what you shouldn't do. Not fucking vote so that Donald Trump can literally throw you in jail. Because at that stage, you're done. Okay? You're in jail. You can't fucking organize. Speaking of which, someone literally sent me a link saying that the PSL leaders in Denver were raided or some shit. Like when the Attorney General is talking about how Antifa is a terrorist organization and that protesters or protests against police brutality are going to be violating sedition charges and should be thrown in jail. And you're still like, I don't know, man. I think a Marxist-Leninist vanguard is actually going to be developed from the ashes of our empire crumbling as it tries to fucking go as fascist as possible, as quickly as possible. Yeah, dude, good job. Good luck. You're all in jail and you're fucking dead now. So what happened to your vanguard party? Oh, nothing happened to your vanguard party. Everyone's in jail. Or you could have the alternative there and organize and keep building momentum and make it so that it's more palatable for a broader audience to even understand what socialism is, to understand what Marxism is. And the only way to do that, as demonstrated by Bernie fucking Sanders, is by advocating for social democratic reforms in the short term. So shut the fuck up and look at examples of things that have worked instead of jerking off about examples throughout history that have demonstrably fucking failed. Chomsky's been doing harm reduction his whole life. Nice theory of change. But you have no theory of change. Your theory of change is outdated. It's completely outdated. If there wasn't industrialization in fucking Russia at the time, it wouldn't have been appropriate either. There has to be organization. We don't exist in the similar kind of economy anymore. The service industry is so fucking like far removed from the Industrial Revolution that it's virtually impossible for a fucking factory floor for a bunch of
Uber drivers to organize in a similar capacity to fucking workers working on a goddamn factory floor. Like, you're just completely out of your mind if you think that this is how it's going to, if you think that it's going to be similar to the fucking revolution in Russia. It's just so silly and so false. Like, I don't know how to describe it. If there was no Bernie Sanders and it was just Donald Trump versus neoliberalism, there would be no left. That's why I fucking shit all over Slavoj Žižek, who has recently apologized for his dumbass fucking take about accelerationism that every single chud leftist on the fucking internet was like repeating repeating in perpetuity, like, oh, well, Slavoj Žižek is an accelerationist. Slavoj Žižek was an accelerationist. No, he's not anymore. He fucking apologized for it. So shut the fuck up. The last large social democratic legislation was when we had a militant labor force that kind of pushed FDR's hand. There is honestly no socialist or social democratic future for this country. I don't know why you aren't fully black-pilled yet. I am. But you're right. This is what we need to even have this, okay? But also, on the other side of that equation is having a militant labor force is virtually impossible without a leader. Virtually impossible without a leader and without organizing. And the only time we've seen leftist organizing in this country to the degree that it fucking blew up is in the aftermath of Bernie Sanders running in 2016. So you just keep doing that. You just keep doing that. That's what you need to do.
Oh, you're such a big man, Hasan.
Hasan, my leader.
Social democracy in Europe is falling apart into fascism too. I agree. I understand. Neoliberalism is that fucking pervasive. Capitalist powers are eradicating the same social safety nets that we talk about here in America as like a pathway for our future in the near future, hopefully. Like, those social safety nets are they're being crippled. And you see that. With more austerity comes more reactionary politics. With more austerity comes more right-wing people, more like non-revolutionary workers that fucking hate immigrants, the Polish or Muslims, their version of Mexicans in Europe.
Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house.
Imagine being so reactionary that you need a cult of personality to rally behind your leftist advocacies. Dude, that's me, dude. I'm a reactionary because I understand how fucking reactionary every person is in America in comparison to a guy who spends their entire fucking time reading Gramsci and fucking Kropotkin or whatever the fuck you read. I don't even know what the fuck you read. I don't know what brand of lefty you are. I don't recognize your name. Yes, dude, I'm a reactionary. Guess what? The overwhelming majority of Americans are a reactionary adjusted to your fucking point of view. Like, even if the only way to change the system is through a revolution, you don't have the fucking underlying... First of all, you don't have the similar material conditions that would make it so that you can organize enough to fucking be able to have a revolution. And more importantly than that, you can't have a revolution with 3 of your fucking pasty nerds from the leftist book club, okay? Come on, bro. I'm fucking base, bro. Come on, bro. I read all the... I listened to all the audiobooks on LibriVox, dude. Come on, dude. We got this, dude. Yeah, Bernie killed Rosa Luxemburg. Like... Okay. Good luck. Meanwhile, fucking the overwhelming majority of American workers are like, wait a minute. I can't, wait a minute, like, labor unions means that, like, I won't be able to have fucking $4 gallon of milk? Like, the gallon of milk will now be $5? No, fuck that. Wait, what do you mean? Unionizing might increase the fucking... Unionizing might increase costs that get carried on to the consumer? No, fuck that. And you're like, you're over here acting like, I don't read theory, here's why communism doesn't work. Are you telling that to me? Is that what you're telling me? Because we're not having a conversation about communism right now. What we're having a conversation is about how to change this society. My Maoist group that is also my D&D group is ready to take on Predator drones of the armed forces. Yeah. Good luck, guys. Gotta love woke millionaires shitting on leftists who want a revolution. Gotta love trying to fucking get your point across by having to highlight it, comrade Fareed. Yeah, dude. Go have your revolution with 3 people, you fucking moron. Shut the fuck up, you fucking dumb LARPer. Oh my fucking god, dude. I know your brain is so fucking large from all the theory that you've consumed. Where the fuck? Where are the Marxists, dog? Where? Huh? Where the fuck are they? Are they just hiding in the shadows? Was Trump right all along? Or is there a massive fucking coalition ready to fucking rise up with arms and form the fucking Marxist-Leninist Vanguard Party? You stupid fuck! Shut up! Fucking LARPers. Oh my god, dude. Nah, dude, I'm Thomas Sankara, dude. I fucking got this, dude. Dude, I'm Che Guevara reincarnated, baby. Come on, I've watched so many compilations of the Zapatistas training. I fucking basically am a trained Marxist myself, dude. I pose in front of hammer and sickle photos, hammer and sickle flags with a balaclava on my face and an AK-47. There are approximately 12 of us, but we're ready. Theory's bad anyways. I have no idea that revolutionary parties build mass support before any violence. Wait. Oh my god. Oh my god. So maybe you should shut the fuck up if we agree on that. Huh, that's crazy. I'm angry at the people who are like, nah, dude, it doesn't matter. This is the only way to do it. Like, you don't have a fucking revolutionary party. You don't have a fucking worker-backed movement. You don't even have labor unions in this fucking country. And these dumbasses in my fucking chat are like, oh, nah, dude. We're gonna rise up, comrades. Okay, dude. In 1917, Russia was full of LARPers. Dude, oh my god, I'm losing it. Okay, I think the theory nerds are fucking annoying. I think the theory nerds are just exclusively trying to stunlock me now into just like,
his name is Hasan.
They're just having fun. Like, they know that I'm fucking right, and they're just having fun. I think that's fun time for them. Is just like telling people how little they've read and how much that they themselves have actually read. Okay, that's what it is. There's no fucking way that people are this stupid. I refuse to believe that people are this fucking stupid. This is like almost as laughable. Thinking that like you can build broad support in a country that is so fucking insanely reactionary as its like literal moderate center is like 3 sneezes away from being Nazi Germany. And motherfuckers are in my chat like, dude, come on, we gotta build a Marxist-Leninist vanguard. What the fuck, dude? Come on, we gotta rise up, comrades. Dude, Hasan, you're so reactionary for thinking that like your movement first needs broad support. I'm not even anti-theory. Just watch Renegade cut a cult of tradition again. I'm ashamed of how simple points are so mind-blowing to me. Is this all being what really means grasping the depths of inequality?